Tonight, I want to talk to everyone about a few different things. First of all, hi, Julie. First of all, what is Simply Spirit? So, Simply Spirit to me is just letting everyone know that everyone can connect to spirit and you don't have to be, a selected few in order to do that. That's really what it is. And sometimes we make things a little bit more complicated than what it needs to be. And, sometimes we just overlook things or we overthink the signs and the symbols, and we really don't have to do that. So that's the first part of what all of this is about. And on the upcoming shows, which will be on Sunday nights, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's going to be different topics. We're going to be talking about meditation, and we're going to be talking about spirit guides and moon phases and all the other things. All the other things that relate to psychic abilities, mediumship. And I also want to have some guests on the show too, like my dear friends, Scotty and Devin and Julie, because she is one of our paranormal investigators, and I hope to have some paranormal topics as well. But tonight, this show is dedicated to my mom. Today is the anniversary of her death. And I want to talk to everyone who has dealt with a lot of loss this past year about ways that they can honor their loved ones and still be connected to them, even though it's in a different way. So when my mom passed, I wasn't there at her house, so I didn't get to really say goodbye to her in that way. And it was kind of odd, because normally I would talk to my mom on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and that just didn't happen. And the same way with my daughter, she would always call my mom and talk to her. And for whatever reason, she didn't either. And so I had talked to a friend earlier in the day, and my phone was going dead, and I kept telling her I needed to charge my phone. And then I kept saying, I need to call my mom. And I never got to make that phone call. And I know a lot of people, when they don't get to say goodbye or they're not there when their loved one passes, they feel really guilty about that. And there really is no reason to feel guilty. What I have learned is that when we aren't with our loved ones at the moment when they pass, it's because we're not supposed to be there. We're not supposed to be there in those last moments for whatever reason. Now, on the way to the hospital where my mom was taken, my oldest brother and I, we actually saw a shooting star at the same time. Even though we weren't in the same vehicle, we saw the same star. And so Steve, when he saw that, also said, that was your mom letting you know that she's gone. And in a way, I knew that was really what was going on. I knew deep in my soul that's what it was. Hi, Kelsey. I knew that was what was going on, but it wasn't something that I really wanted to believe. And I think a lot of people go through that, where they know it in their heart to be true, but it's just not something they want to accept. So what are some other ways that you can honor your loved ones when they pass? One of those ways is like today, where I'm honoring her, talking about her, sharing stories with her, talking about the things that they did that brought you joy and happiness, and remember all the things that you did growing up with them. If it was like your mom or your dad or brother or sister, aunt, uncle, or cousin, or even your best friend, talking about that is a way of honoring them. And just because they've left this world for the next doesn't mean that we can't connect with them. And a lot of people say, well, I can't connect with them because, they're just not around. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes they've reincarnated and they've gone on to do something else. But other times, we're just missing all of those signs and those symbols. A lot of times we just have to do the healing work first. And a lot of people think that they're never going to see them. Or in one person's case, she was saying to me, Jen, I never see anything from my brother. And when I connected to her really quickly, I said some things like it was a truck and some other things, and she understood that right away. So she knew that point in time that her brother was still around. And other things to look out for too is, if you hear a song that's playing on the radio and you're thinking of your loved one at that time, that's your loved one that's with you at that moment. If you are reading a book and suddenly you're thinking of them, or they missing symbols, right, Julie? Or if you you're reading a book and you think of them, that's them with you at that moment. When you go to their gravesite, they're with you in that moment. There's so many different ways. And one of the ways that you can still connect with them is just to talk to them. Just talk to them just as if you would if they were here. Yes, you may not be able to call them on the phone, but you can still talk to them. You can write them a letter, and they will know what's on that letter. They will know everything that you've written in that. So that's another way. Another thing that I like to do to honor my mom is to make her foods, the favorite foods that she liked, or the things that she taught me how to make. Like my girls love this Black Forest cake, and it's not really a cake. It's more like some type of dessert. I can't even call it a pie. Let's be real. You can't even really call it that. But it's something that she made, and I learned how to make that. My girls know how to make that. But every time for holidays, we make that because it was something that she did. Hi, Greg. I'm so happy you're here too. Hi, Lynn. So that's something that's really important. So just make their foods that they made, tell their stories, and go to the places that you used to go to as kids. Maybe it was the zoo, or maybe you used to go to the park a lot. Go do those same things, because that's one way that you can honor your loved ones. You can set up a little altar for them if you like, have their favorite things there. And yes, hosting silent dinners, Kelsey, is a great one to do. And, that doesn't have to be at a specific time. You can do that at any time that you're missing your loved ones. What I like to do when I'm missing my grandpa is I wear a fedora hat. Hi, Sharon. How are you? I'm so happy you're here too. I'm so happy everyone is here. So that's some of the things that you can do. And just, let them know that you still love them. And they know that anyways. Not that you have to tell them, but just talk to them the same way that you would and say, hey, this is how my day is going. I miss talking to you. I wish you were here. Those are the kind of things that, hey, Shannon, how are you? Those are the kind of things that you can do to let your loved ones know that they're around. So some other things that I want to talk to you, everyone, tonight is, why everybody thinks that it's so difficult. Why does everyone think it's so difficult to connect to their loved ones? And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they haven't healed yet. We all go through a lot of different emotions with the pain, and I get it. Sometimes it does take you longer to heal than it does with others. And hi, Lynn. Yes, you are going to get better. I promise you're going to get better. Some of the ways that I healed when I lost my mom, when I lost my grandma, when I lost my grandpa, was just to cry when I needed to cry, no matter where I was, no matter what I was doing. And my mother-in-law gave me that advice, and it was one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got. And, she was such a wise woman, and she said to me that I experienced this first so that I could help others who will go through the same thing, through the loss of losing their mom. And she's right. You know, I was strong enough to be able to do that, to go through all of that and understand and process a lot of things. Thought it was a ghost behind me, but it's my chair. Yeah, it's just my chair. But yeah, so another way that you can, hi Shannon, another way that you can heal is by talking, besides talking about them and writing letters, is, and besides crying, is to do things that honors them. Like my mom loves roses. So what I did was I planted rose bushes, and that kind of helped me to heal a little bit. And it's very important. And it was, I give, yes, but you will still be able to connect. What are you trying to do to connect? I mean, other than, I know you say you felt and saw things more in the early days and the weeks, but not as much now. So what's changed that you're having a hard time connecting now? I mean, are you doing anything different, or do you feel like that they've just moved on? I mean, what's going on with that? Yes, Devin, absolutely. Absolutely. Conversations are very important, and they do reply back in many different ways. You know, when my cousin April passed, one of the things that she did was at the day of her funeral, actually, she played part of a song. Like her favorite song was Carrie Underwood. And Steve and I walked into KFC because we were grabbing something to eat on the way home, and a song ended, and one of the songs, the first line of it that played was from Carrie Underwood, and it said, "I'll see you again," and then went off and went on to a different song. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that it was from her. So that's one way that you can really understand that it's them, is when they do something like that. Or you're in the radio, listen to me. You're not in the radio, but you might be in your car. So if you're in the car and you're talking about, you're thinking about your loved ones, and all of a sudden a song comes on, or you say, hey, I'd really like it if you would play whatever, or you're thinking that and it comes on, no, that's a sign from your loved one that, hey, they're there with you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Sharon. You do have to stay open-minded, and robins are very good for that. My grandma, when she's around, other than throwing my crows on the floor and throwing my other things on the floor when I'm not paying attention, we see cardinals a lot. And my Uncle Jack, he will see cardinals, and he's always saying, yep, mom's around when that happens. So, some of the things that we do is we do miss those signs, and we do miss those symbols. And it can be as simple as a song on the radio. It can be as simple as a bird showing up. But you think, okay, well, if you only see it once, but then you're seeing it numerous times. Like if a bird keeps showing up, pay attention to that. And you might be surprised at what it is that is going on. I mean, in the case of my mom, now this just happened, like literally, and Scotty can vouch for this too. So a couple of days before my mom passed, I woke up to the smell of roses in my room. And for the longest time, I had like no clue, like until like yesterday. And then it hit me all at once that it was my grandpa, her dad, who was letting me know, who was giving me a heads up that, hey, I'm coming for your mom. And I heard him laughing when he said it. And it was just so funny. And I mean, it was like the light bulb moments. And I know Devin and I, we've talked about this. We talked about this on your show Thursday, where we have those light bulb moments. And boy, let me tell you, that was a light bulb moment for me. And so it could be as simple as that. Don't overthink it like I did. I mean, I was overthinking this whole thing. I mean, I was trying to figure out, okay, was this like, some other being that I didn't even know, not even thinking, oh, it could be my grandpa, And so that was one of my little aha moments. And then I had another aha moment yesterday when I realized that when I had first connected to, yes, light bulb, Devin, when I had connected to my friend's dad, I didn't realize that we were merging energy. And that was something that I didn't know how to not do. I really didn't understand what that meant at the time, was about merging energy. And it took me until yesterday, another light bulb moment, to realize that I was merging with his energy, even though I wasn't aware of it, but I was asleep when it happened. And I never could understand why I was like freezing on the inside and really warm to the touch on the outside. And that was the reason was because we were merging energy. So anytime that you're having a moment like that where you're feeling cold or you're feeling chills or whatever, stop and think about what you're doing. Are you thinking about someone who's passed? Are you doing something that reminds you of them? Are you wearing a shirt or a hat or something that belonged to them? Kind of think about that, because that's their way of letting you know that they're around. Oh, that's so cool, Hazel. I love that. That is so cool. I love that happened today. And yes, hummingbirds are a great one, Kelsey. Something else. Hi, Amanda. Something else that you can do to honor your loved ones. I know my own girls have done this, is they had a tattoo done in memory of loved ones. And I know others who've done that too. So that's another thing that you can do. You can take a special day and honor them. Yes, Shannon, that was your dad. It sure was. That was a rather interesting night. And yeah, absolutely. Tattoos are a great way to remember your loved ones. And you can get those at any given time. But again, if you want to set a special day to honor your loved ones, like today, like I said, I'm honoring my mom and I'm talking about different things. And I was in a class earlier today and the number 1111 kept getting mentioned. And it was like, I knew that was my mom around, because that's my connection to her. That's my sign. Whenever I see that, I know that mom's around. And that's something to think about too, is the numbers that come up, repeating numbers, and they can be anything. In my case, 1111 is close to the time when I got a phone call and that she was gone. And so if there's a number that you keep seeing repeating over and over and over, stop and think about what that was. Is that a connection to when they passed? Does that have another connection to you for whatever reason? Even on a day, like if there's a specific day and you keep seeing a repeating pattern, stop and think about, okay, what does this day mean? What does this date mean? There's so many different things. Like if you're getting a reading, and that's another thing too, if you're getting a reading and someone says to you, I'm getting the number 4, the number 4 can be a lot of different things. It can be a month, it can be a day. It can be 1 of 4, like if you're 1 of 4 siblings. So kind of think about that. And a lot of times people miss those little simple things. It's called like psychic amnesia, where you could even forget your name at that point and not even realize that, oh my gosh, that's really what they're talking about. And it's later on that you finally realize what that is. Oh, that's awesome. What's your tattoo, Shannon? Did you got like a bird or a butterfly or something like that to remember them? So I know I have a tattoo. I didn't get it in memory of my mom, but it does have roses on it. So that does remind me of my mom. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. My grandma, she's connected to roses too. And so that's why I always plant roses. My daughter actually got me a rose bush, and that's the one thing that is out there. I can see it from my window, and I always think of my mom, and I always think of my grandma, and I think of her because she got it for me one year. And so that's always really special when that happens. So do you guys have any questions for me of ways that you can contact or connect with your loved ones? One of the greatest ways that you can also connect, other than writing and all the other stuff, is in meditation and in your dreams. A lot of times people will say, oh my gosh, I'm having these dreams, but I think it's just a dream. And most of the time, it's not a dream. Most of the time, it's actually your loved ones connecting to you. It depends on how long they stay and how long before they move on. It's really up to them, because even in death, they still have free will. So, some spirits want to come back right away so that they can learn a lot more lessons a lot quicker, and some don't. Some choose to stay, with spirit or with source or whatever you prefer to call heaven or whatever. They choose to stay there a little longer. You plan on getting a portrait of your favorite picture of your grandpa. That's cool. That's cool. Lucid dreams. Yes. Yes, Sharon. Lucid dreams are awesome, aren't they? They're really amazing. And a lot of times too, sometimes, have you ever been asleep at night and felt someone or felt like there was an energy next to you, or you felt really cold and you woke up and you actually saw like the shadow of something or someone? Chances are pretty good that was your loved one that was right there with you. That happens. That can happen a lot. But the dream state, what if I'm trying to hear from my gran and she's already moved on? I think if she's already moved on, even though she's moved on to another form, another life, whatever the case may be, I still think in some way, shape, or form, she's going to be able to connect with you. You're still going to be able to connect with her, but it may not be as strong as it would if she was still in spirit form, if that makes any sense at all. Because I still think even though they've moved on, if it's like really important that they get in touch with us some way, shape, or form, they'll still be able to do it. It's almost like an imprint that we have, like you'll just know it. You'll just know the answer. But I've also know that when a spirit has moved on, they somehow, some way, they will get in touch with somebody else that knows you in order to get a message to you, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I still think there's a part of them. I think so. I think some of the energy is there, because think about it. We all remember our past lives. Well, some of us remember our past lives. So I shouldn't say everybody. We sometimes remember our past lives. So if a person remembers their past life and they realize that you're trying to get in touch with them, I think there's a way that we can still do that. We can still connect to another person. So Devin, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And Scotty, I'd love to hear yours too. What are your thoughts on that? Greg, what are your thoughts on that as well? Kelsey, what do you think on that? Yes, Absolutely, absolutely. They still will do that. They will still do the pranks just as I did. And that's the other thing too. A lot of people think that, once they're gone, they can't do any of those things. But if your loved one was a prankster in life, they're still going to do a little bit of that. You connect in a meditation. I mean, there's ways that you can do that. I connect in meditation. It's something that I actually teach also. But yeah, you can. Do you meditate a lot, Shannon? Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, Devin. No, you haven't missed out. I promise you. Everybody does everything on their own time. There is no deadline. It's not a race. It's not a race to the finish line. There's not a deadline. We all get to where we're supposed to go when we're supposed to be there, and we all do the things that we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do them. Right, exactly, Devin. I still think so too. I still think that even if a person has reincarnated, that there's ways that they can get in touch with us. I mean, has anybody had that moment where a complete stranger will come up to you and say, hey, I have to tell you this, but they have no idea why they have that message or how they got that message, but they needed to pass that on to you? That's kind of what that is. Shannon, I can help you with meditation. Yeah, absolutely, Kelsey. They sure are. And they always talk about their past lives. Absolutely. Oh, that's really cool. And I agree with that. That's really cool though, that you've read about that too, Sharon. And I feel that way too. I think that, like I said, I feel like there's like an imprint. And so even though they've reincarnated, there's still a little part to where we can still connect to our loved ones. It may not be as strong as it would be at other ways, but I think we can still connect. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Devin and Scotty, I mean, we were sisters in a past life, and I know we're going to be connected again a lot more in our next lives too. And the same way with you, Kelsey. I mean, we connected and it's like we've known each other forever, and I think that when it comes to past lives and people that we know, our soul team, our soul family, and our tribe, I think that the people who are in our lives now have always been a part of our lives, but they've always been something different. Like, some people are your mother and in one life and they're not in another. I mean, my daughter, Amanda, I'm telling you, I guarantee you she was my mom in a past life. And she still has that, very much motherly instinct now, and always has. Like, she's always been a miniature adult, like even when she was little. Shannon, you haven't lost connection with your dad. You've just been so busy and preoccupied with other things that's going on, and we'll work on getting that connection back for you, because you haven't lost that connection at all. You'll still be able to connect back through him. Just, you've got a lot going on right now, and when things start to settle down, you'll be able to connect back with him again. There's different ways, and I'll talk to you about that after a while on how we can get you started back on connecting with your dad and doing some meditation and stuff. So, but yeah, we've all, everybody in our life is connected. We're just different things to different people at different times. And some people that you've connected with this time around, even though they may only be in your life for a short period of time, doesn't mean that they weren't in your life for a longer period of time before. So we're all here to learn lessons, and each person that we connect with, we learn lessons from them just as they learn lessons from us. And let's see, I want to make sure I haven't missed any other comments or anything. So, okay, so we're caught up on comments. I didn't want to miss anything as far as that goes. So, anyways, back to meditation a little bit. One of the ways that you can connect to your loved ones is through meditation. And if you haven't ever done any type of meditation, you can start out just by simply just closing your eyes and just, try not to think about anything. I know that's really hard. You're still going to have thoughts. You're still going to have thoughts on that, but just kind of let that go a little bit if you can. But deep breathing is a great way to kind of start with this. Yeah, I love this too, Shannon. We'll work on it. But just taking a few deep breaths, just kind of clearing out everything and getting rid of the negative energy or the stale energy or whatever you want to call it. That's really the best thing to do is just by taking simply a few deep breaths and try to stay focused in the here and the now. I know that's not always easy to do, but just quieting the mind, that's really all meditation is. And even if it's just for 1 minute, that's really all you need to do. Is just clear your mind for 1 minute at a time. Start out something small and then build from there. I don't think I've read his book. Any apps? I'm sure there are meditation apps that are out there. Like, I don't use any meditation apps. What I do is I go to YouTube and find some meditations that I like, and it really just depends. Like, sometimes I do drumming. I listen to drumming, and sometimes I do a guided meditation. Sometimes I just listen to just music in itself. But I will try to find some apps and link those on the page so that you can find them, Shannon, if that will help you. What book what's one of his books, Sharon, by Michael Newton? What does he talk about? So, there are quite a few books out there. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Shannon. If I can ever help you with anything else, just please let me know. I'm always willing to help anyone with anything. So how many others meditate on a regular basis? Who else meditates on a regular basis? I know, Devin, you do. I know Greg does. I know Scotty does. Oh, really? He regresses people. Oh, that's really cool. Does he teach classes? Yeah, I know you do, Scotty. I know you you meditate on a regular basis too. Yes, absolutely, they are. Yes. Hi, Sharon. How are ya? Hi, Hazel. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I do that too. Every night before bedtime. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to look into those books, Sharon. They look real. I'll have to look that up. That's pretty interesting because, I mean, regression is something that I'm actually doing now for a course. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Hazel. Yeah, I do too, Devin. Without meditating, I feel really disconnected also. And yeah, so I totally get what you're saying. Yes. Well, Sharon, I'm definitely going to have to check those books out. I'll take your word on it that I know if you say they're a good book, they're a good book. So I will definitely look into those and see if I can't get my hands on some of those and read those. But yeah, so what is your favorite go-to when it comes to meditation? I mean, for me, like I said, I have different music, but I also go without listening to music too. I like to just sit and be really quiet. Yeah, Kindle is good. Kindle is good. Kindle is absolutely a good one. Yes. Guided meditations can be really good. I know Phoenix has some really good guided meditations that she has on her channel. I can share those too with everyone. And yeah. But yeah, sometimes just going outside you can go for a walk and just not really focus on anything, just enjoy the walk. And it's actually a form of meditation. I don't know who this person is, but this person is gone. I don't know why he keeps sending messages to people. I think that's the same person that, oh my gosh, that was banned from Shadowhunters too. Yes, chakra balancing is absolutely good. And it's positive healing meditation, meet your spirit guides. Absolutely. Absolutely, Hazel. I agree with you. Those are really good ways to, yeah, Devin, I might take you up on that because I'm not really totally sure what I'm doing with this. So that would be really awesome. That'd be really awesome if you could. I would really appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, like there's people, everyone. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Sharon, I sure will. I'm more than likely going to take Devin up on her offer because I know that I'm going to need somebody to help me with this and keep track of everything. This is the first time I've done this. This is the first time I've used Zoom on Facebook, so I'm like really nervous with everything. Normally I'm not nervous when I go live. I just go live and everything else, but for some reason I just couldn't go straight live with just Facebook. So okay. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I might just end up calling this a little sooner. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Sharon. Thank you so much. I hope you can join me next week, because this is something that I'm doing every week. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday nights. And before you go, I also want to let everybody know, before I end this first episode for the night, I also want to let everybody know that on Mondays, we have Psychics Unite. Great show. Got to go work on YouTube. Oh, Greg, I appreciate that. I'll be taking up some offers for sure. So I really need some help with this. Not a problem. But anyways, Monday nights we have Psychics Unite, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's on Zoom. And if you look for Psychics Unite, there's a lot of different groups. And I have one of the chapters, the Indiana chapter. It's the Psychics Unite Indiana Southeast chapter. I'm the leader of that chapter. And if you even want to look there, you'll find the information for our Monday night meetings. It's an all chapters meeting, and everyone is welcome to attend. And then on Tuesday nights, we have the amazing Sharon, who does Oracle Tuesday. She does Oracle card readings, and that's on the Shadow Hunters Facebook page. And then we have on Wednesdays, Scotty Talks About, and that is at 7 o'clock. All of these shows are at 7 o'clock that I'm going to be mentioning. Well, there's a few that aren't, and I will let you know when those are. So Wednesday is Scotty Talks About, and that's on the Shadow Hunters page. And this coming Wednesday, Devin and Terry, Scotty's wife, and I, and as well as Steve, will be his guests on the show. So we're looking forward to that. And then on Thursday, there is Truth Bumps with the beautiful Devin Evans. And I just love her. She is definitely my soul sister. I mean, we finish each other's sentences and think the same. She thinks something and I'm thinking it at the same time. It's absolutely amazing. I was just on her show Thursday night. We had a great time. And then on Friday, we have Shadow Hour with Greg Koss. And let me tell you, this man is amazing. Of course, they all are amazing. Let's be real. Everybody is amazing, and I love them all dearly. They are my soul family, and I wouldn't know what to do without them. And then also on Tuesday nights is Tina Marie with Illuminating the Paranormal, and her show is from 8 to 9. That's Eastern Standard Time. And we also have Thursday night, there is Carly the Medium. She has her Oracle Thursdays, and that is on her Facebook channel, her Facebook page, her Facebook channel. Geez Louise. It's on her Facebook page, Carly the Medium. And that starts at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. But Sharon's show, Scotty's, Devin's, and Greg's is all 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is why I have mine at the same time. So we're all kind of coordinated together. So, and with that, I think I'm going to end this first episode of Simply Spirit. I appreciate all of you being part of this and being here and helping me through this first episode. So until next Sunday, I will see you later.